What's up, vape fam? Sorteal here. Sorry for the slightly later than usual build stream, but work being what it is, got in the way as usual. Paul, what's going on? So, what I wanted to do tonight was just build up a couple of RDAs that I think are extremely good, and then also do another one that's extremely good that a couple of people have been asking if I was going to do on the live build stream. So, we're going to do the Recurve V2 from Watofo and Mike Vapes, which I'm a pretty big fan of. I do like the original Recurve better, or the Recurve Dual better, but I still like the Recurve V2 quite a bit. We're also going to do the Squai, which is one of my favorite RDAs out there. It's just an amazing squonker, but we're actually going to stick it on a mechanical mod. Same with the other two. Finally, we're going to build up the Ripsaw. Now, that's one that a lot of people have been asking if I still use that, even after doing the review. That answer is yes, I do, but I haven't used it for a little bit, but it's one I definitely keep going back to. I really like the Ripsaw, and I did need to stick some new coils in it, so perfect opportunity just to go ahead, knock that out in the live stream, and everybody would be happy. Now, if you were here for the last live stream, the last live build session, I mentioned that YouTube was giving me these weird things about audio bit rate, and my audio bit rate being 0, which is not possible. But so if there's any kind of weird funkiness with the audio, let me know. But everything on OBS is saying everything's fine. So as long as you guys can hear me and it's not too crazy, we'll just keep trucking along. What have I been vaping on? Actually, I finally perfected my Twinkie recipe. Did up 240 mils of it. I've been vaping it out of the Pandemic 30 millimeter. Still got it on the Endura Pro. Really digging this one. Cool. Thanks, guys, for letting me know about the audio. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was fine. I don't know why the hell YouTube just keeps screaming at me that my audio bitrate is 0, which is just the weirdest thing. The other thing I've been vaping on a lot is this right here, an RDA for Vaping V2 on top of Russian Custom Mods Bushido. In this one, I actually have my chocolate overdose custard, which been really digging this since kind of going back to it. I had pretty long break from it and then kind of went back to it. Chocolate vapes are just one of those that there's very few that I actually like, but the ones that I do like, I still kind of have to take a break from them for a while. All right, cool. Paul, Stevo, Bambino, thank you very much. Glad everything's going smooth. All right, so let's go ahead and dive over and take a look at the Recurve V2. Now, I've got the gold one here with kind of a gigantic white drip tip, but because I always use it on this right here, the Tarn Max, the white and gold, and I just love the way the whole setup looks, so figured I'd stick with my crazy huge 810 drip tip. Now, if you're not familiar with this one, or maybe you're familiar with the original Recurve or Recurve Dual, this one is different by having this kind of insert here. And there's another one for single coil. So if you wanted to just do single coil, and you can even do just a giant 4 or 5 millimeter ID single coil, you can. I don't really like it as a single coil very much, but as a dual coil, it actually works pretty damn good. Jason Clouds, what's up? Michael, how's it going, brother? Still kicking ass over on Twitter, I see. All right, so one of the cool things about this is it's just absolutely deep as all hell juice well. And it actually works really good as a squonker. At first, I didn't think it was going to, because I'm kind of one of those, I like to squonk and be able to kind of over squonk and almost saturate the bottom of my coil, and that's just not possible here because kind of like a, I don't know, it almost looks like a teeny little hallway underneath this platform, and that underneath there is where your kind of squonk pin is going to put juice up into the juice well here. you can't ever really get juice enough that it gets over the top and kind of hits your coils. I mean, you can, but you'd really be oversaturating it, and you'd probably end up leaking out juice out of your airflow. So kind of bummed about that, but turns out it actually squonks really, really well. Oh, I do enjoy the Gower. I don't enjoy a lot of regulated mods, if I'm honest. I like the Gower 21, I like the Endura Pro, and I like the Hadron Plus. And those are probably the 3 regulated mods you're going to see me use on the channel. For every other type of vaping situation I'm in, if it's not a regulated squonk, which I do like the Pulse and the Topside line, it's going to be a mechanical mod. I vape mechanical mods 98% of the time. All right, let's go ahead and stick some coils in this bad boy. I'm going to use my Coilology Alien V2s, but I did get some coils in today. These are what we're going to stick in the Ripsaw, which these are the El Cuatro NI90. These come from Coil Clout. They're 4-core aliens. These should come out to about 0.09, which should work perfect with the Ripsaw. What they look like underneath. I love these coils. I have not had them in a while, so once I saw they were on sale, I jumped all over it. I have fit and finish and tolerance issues with mine. Top cap is loose. Doesn't lock correctly all the time. The dual insert doesn't fit in snug. It pops out. So like the dual coil insert on mine gets stuck. My single coil insert is extremely loose, at least with this gold one. The black one that I have and the gunmetal one that I have are fine. They don't have really any issues. The biggest issue I found is just installing coils with it. Sometimes those growth screws just don't really want to catch right. Crackle City, yeah, for sure. I'm anxious to give these a go again. All right, so do these at an 8. Like I said, we're going to use the Coilology Alien V2s on this. They should come out to about 0.09, 0.1, somewhere in there. With 8mm leg leads, I'm going to assume they're probably going to come out closer to 0.1. But they have surprised me before. All right. Grab a screwdriver. Now I do have these backed out already because I actually had some coils in here that needed to be taken out. I think they should be backed out enough. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Those are your favorite coil clamp? Yeah, they're easily my favorite that Jonathan does as well. There's monster coils. What's going on, Swaggy? I've been meaning to hit you up there and tell you what I thought about some of the stuff that you sent me, but I'll hit you up in Discord and give you the lowdown on what I think. But all very, very positive. I will say that. All right. Halfway reading chat, halfway clamping coils down. I was a little worried starting this, you know, an hour later that wouldn't be a lot of people pop in, at least just, you know, there's a lot of people kind of pop in, say, hey, sit around and watch for a minute or two. And then once I've built whatever it is they're interested in, they bolt out. Starting later, I was kind of worried that maybe some of those people just wouldn't show, but all you guys came out. Thank you very much. Seems like that one caught, but it moves awful easy. I don't want to push these. I think it's got those pretty good. I'm just a little leery with this because I've had so many issues with it, like actually clamping down on the coil legs correctly. All right. Well, that's not good. Not reading anything. All right. Double check my 510 pin here real quick. Oh, it's good. Just not gripping down on those coils right. Kind of what I was a little worried about because it always gives me issue. How far south does my draw come from? Kentucky. So about as north as you can get for being southern. Come on now. I see it looks like they clamped down on them just fine. I don't know what the hell. Well, shit. Huh. It still doesn't think there's anything going on with it. Let me see where I put that. Wow. Now this was the atomizer that had little O-ring on there and on your 510 pin for like no apparent reason whatsoever. And I just took it straight off because it would constantly get caught and then give me all kinds of crazy issues. And now I'm not sure what's going on with this. Really not. Make sure it's not the Gower 21. Took mine off too, then did the same on the Recurve Dual. Alright. Make sure it's not the Gower acting funky. No, it's not the Gower. Huh. Take these all the way back out real quick. This is kind of the thing with the Recurve. I do like it, the Recurve V2, but the original and the original dual just seem like they were built a lot better than this one is. I've just had so many issues with this one. It all it's a little weird how many issues I've had. Now I'm just futzing around with it, trying to figure out what's going on. All right, so you can take this top platform off. It looks, I don't know, it looks fine. Oh Lord. Just spent an hour cleaning up heavily painted copper mod. Sometimes you still want them to shine. Hell yeah. I'm pretty picky with my copper mods. I end up cleaning them kind of an insane amount sometimes. All right. Well, I have no idea what's going on here other than it's just still not clamping down on those coils correctly, because everything, once taking it apart, everything looks fine. There's nothing really out of place. I don't have that O-ring that sometimes gets stuck kind of up at the top of your 510 pin and can cause all kinds of issues. So let's go ahead and try and set these coils again. See if I can't get it to clamp down on them right. It definitely has it. Pins from Visti, Hindman, and Hazard. Hazard's the only place I've ever had family live at. My dad grew up in Hazard. Well, somewhat. Like his high school years. He kind of grew up all over the damn place. But yeah, as far as anybody I've known from Hazard, it's few family members here and there. Yeah, it's still not reading this thing. Huh. It definitely has them. Now I'm just trying to raising them up. Nope. I got down for a family reunion. It takes me about 5 minutes to start talking like you people. It really doesn't take long at all. Especially somewhere like Hazard that's kind of up in the mountains. Most of my mom's family is kind of over there in eastern Kentucky, and it doesn't take long to pick up that kind of Queen's English accent they got over there. I have no idea what's going on with this, guys. It's just acting like there's no coils in it whatsoever. I could try a different pair of coils, I guess, but I really don't want to do that. Because I feel like at this point I'm just going to waste, you know, 2 pairs of coils instead of 1. Yeah. Just has no idea there's coils there. All right, let me try a DNA mod. Where did I put the hadron? All right, hang on. I honestly don't know where I put it. Well, oh, right here. If there'd been a snake, it would have bit me. Try it on different mods yet. That's what I'm about to do. I don't think that's it though, because I mean I put the RDA for vaping V2 on the Gower and it read it just fine, but we could see. Huh, this reads it. Yeah, because as soon as I measured it, 0.08, which is about right. Let's see if it'll actually fire them. Let me straighten them up a little bit. Yeah, it's actually working. I don't know why it won't pick up on the Gower. I wonder if it will after we pulse and pinch these. 510 too short for newer mod. That may be what that maybe what that O-ring was supposed to do was give it a little bit of a gap, so the 510 was actually sitting in there a little bit longer. I bet that's what that O-ring is supposed to be for. What year is that RDA from? The Recurve? It was what, last year? like late last year, something like that. Maybe this year. I can't remember. It's this year or late last year. But yeah, now that this has happened, I bet that's what that O-ring is for. All right. See what it came out to. 0.11. That's rare, but then again, the leg leads are cut to 8. Go ahead and wick it up. All right. Yeah, I may actually have to play around and test that. I've still got all the spares as far as the O-rings for the 510 pin. Stick that back in there, clamp it down, just try and make sure it's not getting pinched like it was before, and then see if it will read on like the Gower 21. Although I've built it on the Gower 21 many a time, so I still find that a little odd. So yeah, it seems like work just kept messing everything up. I'm supposed to have Mondays and Wednesdays off, and it just never seems like it works out to where I actually get both days off. Something always comes up. Always. And we're understaffed at work pretty heavily. These might be a little long, honestly. See how they do on this side. No, I think the wick length for this side at least is about spot on. This side may be a little bit long. Actually, no. I think it's good too. All right, that'll work. All right, so what liquid am I going to use with this one? Think I don't want to go with the Twinkie because I've already been vaping it. I think I'll go with my butter cookie custard. Crank this wattage up just a little bit. I still need to get into eScribe and set this up to where I don't absolutely hate its layout. Because the default DNA layout I can't stand. It's same everywhere in the country, nobody has staff. Yeah, that's very true. My wife works, but see, she works in the health industry, so they're doing okay. I think they could use another, at least one more person, but they're not totally hurting, it doesn't seem like. But now we are big time. All right, I think that'll work. Let's go ahead and put the top cap back on. There we go. Jump back up top. Vape on this for a little bit on this, and then we will, wait, I guess I should put my damn insert in there, huh? And then I'll transfer it over to the Taran Max. Grip a little bit more, crank this wattage up some more. This going by 0.1 increments kills me with this one. Well, I definitely need to get into eScribe. All right. You talking about for the Twinkie recipe, Apathy? I wouldn't sub nothing for VSO vanilla cream in that recipe at least. But if I had to pick another flavor to sub for VSO vanilla cream, it would probably be Wonder Flavors Vanilla Cream Extra. Devo, yeah, my wife still got a little bit going on with her stomach where, like, we ate tonight. We kind of did our immediate family Thanksgiving tonight. We didn't do turkey and all that kind of stuff. We did breakfast for dinner. I made like biscuits and gravy, fried potatoes, bacon, sausage, scrambled eggs, all that stuff. And she ate a little bit, and her stomach started kind of bothering her again. So yeah, Swaggy, there really isn't. I'll agree with you there. There's not really a substitute for VSO vanilla cream. It's so good. But yeah, so she's still got a little bit of it going on. Our youngest, she's doing fine now. She went over to her friend's house today and stayed there for a few hours. She's had a ball. She ate dinner tonight and didn't seem like anything was going on. And I seem to be fine. So yeah. Apathy, then yeah. Yeah, if you're just subbing it out because you don't have it on hand, yeah, Wonder Flavors Vanilla Cream Extra is the next best thing, in my opinion, to it. Really, no matter what you're doing the Twinkie recipe or not. All right, Mowgli. Now you're an administrator, so feel free to kick them out. Big sale this weekend. Yeah, I've got a cart full of some raws and butter and a couple other things that I'm just waiting for the sale to hit there, Swaggy. Did it not let me do it? Well, there you go. Thank you, sir. There we go. Deb22 and Dave Lloyd are the other two that I kind of went ahead and gave wrenches to. I thought about doing the whole Legion Vapes thing with, all you all I know from like other chats and all kinds of different shit. So I feel comfortable pretty much making any of you all administrators. So kind of thought about doing the Legion Vapes thing, just give everybody a damn wrench. Yeah, Christmas coming up has definitely kind of been like, oh shit, as far as getting much of anything else. I kind of figured Swaggy was going to do something for Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of weekend, so I've been anxious for that one and kind of prepped all the stuff I wanted to give. Yeah, that's kind of why I like the whole like everybody has a wrench, because if somebody stupid jumps into fucking Legion Vapes chat, they just immediately get beat down by administrators. You prefer favoritism? Yeah, apathy. I know. As far as your kitchen goes, the pictures you've shown, man, it looks like it. I don't know how close to done you are, but pictures I've seen of it, it looks like it's gonna be fucking dope. I love those countertops. I can't wait to see those all finished up. But yeah, I guarantee that cost a fucking pretty penny. Yeah, this seems to be working good. Let me go ahead and crank the wattage like way up. Make sure it's not gonna short out on me. Say 110. Got some big gifts out of the way so you can possibly hit some sales this weekend. Nice. This year, we've pretty much been worried about the kids and like our parents, and that's about it. Yes, sir, it is, Swaggy. And this one's going on uh, like 3.5 years old and still kicking. Nice. Actually, just finished mudding the other side of the wall in the dining room and sanding it yesterday. Just got to paint it and they'll be all done. Hell yeah. Gift cards for everyone just past you Christmas. Just what I wanted, and we mean it. I think everybody does. Like my oldest daughter, we gave her we like they had other gifts, stuff we knew they needed, that they wanted, but also that they needed, and then we gave her a gift card. It was like $100 gift card or something like that, and I think she liked that better than anything else. I think everybody likes gift cards. It's almost better when someone's like, "Here's a gift," and then you can go get what you actually want. And with me, I would probably much rather everybody give me gift cards instead of anything else, just because most people around me are kind of like, I don't know what, I would get you vape stuff or flavorings or something like that, but I have no idea what you need or want. And they just don't want to get it wrong, I guess. So the Longhorn Steakhouse cards never expire. Nice. I gotta hydrate. This butter cookie custard will dry you the fuck out. Yeah, for real, Swaggy, y'all got gift cards? I would just tell everybody I know, if you're going to get me something, just go to vsoflavors.com, get a gift card. And again, I guess they could just do like a vanilla or a green dot, and then there you go. Full City Flavors gift cards on my birthday? Hell yeah. Friends definitely know me. Alright, let's go ahead and stick this on the Tauren Max. I'm not really worried about it on the Tauren or any mechanical mod. Definitely hybrid safe as far as protruding out. Just kind of why it's weird that it's not long enough for the Gower 21, and that seems like a new development. But then again, I may have built it up on the Hadron Plus since removing that O-ring. Grab a Molicel P42A. I don't know if any of you guys, can't remember if it was 18, I think it was 18650 battery store, had these Epoch batteries that were kind of parentheses labeled P45B, like they were a rewrap of the Molicel P45B. And like I'm a patron of Battery Mooch, and he ordered a few up, but he hasn't got them in yet because he wanted to test them and see if they were actually rewraps of Molicel P45Bs, which, you know, almost nobody can fucking find. So I'm anxious to see if they actually are or not. If they are, I'm going to order the shit out of them. Oh yeah, that's really good. For, you know, like a little affordable, under $100 mechanical mod, this is probably the hardest hitting, you know, affordable mech mod I've ever come across. Long 510s, push the RX 200 510 pins in. Only the longer 510s as you pulled it out. Huh. Now you got me curious. If I can even... It's definitely, it doesn't look spring loaded. I don't know. I'd have to mess with it. Steve, I've been waiting for those too, because the original test that Mooch did basically said the Molicel P45Bs are, they hit as hard as 30Ts, but then they're, you know, 4,500 milliamp hours and 45 amp. I still think they were like closer to 40 amp on his actual tests. Last VSO was a $25 gift card I won and spent like 100 more on top of it. Yeah. I always go to Swaggy's site and like I'll put a couple of things in the cart. I'll be like, all right, well, I need some, you know, barbarian cream, some cranberry, and then I'll end up being like, oh, wait, I haven't tried this, whatever it is. And end up putting more in the cart. I need to get more of the raws. I don't have like, I still have more of the standard flavorings than I do the raws. And I really like the raws. Yeah, this is working great. I need to make up more of this butter cookie custard. Mech Life Arcless when they came out, like $55, great little tube. I don't have one of those, so, but that's awesome. I mean, the Dreamer, if you know, there's a lot of places that will charge 95, $100 for it, but for the most part, you can find the Dreamer relatively cheap, 55 to 75 bucks, somewhere around in there. And it's still one of my favorite mechanical mods. It's just a damn workhorse. All right, let's go ahead and do the squat, which the squat to me has a fatal flaw of its O-rings. Yeah, I don't doubt it, Apathy, especially you like running like 0.07, shit like that. I'd say parallel and series is probably more your speed, isn't it? I actually want to get one of Jeremy's over at Voorhees Custom, one of his dual battery parallel mechs. All right. Go ahead. Here is the Squires deck. This is not cleaned out very well at all. I do apologize. I love this deck. This is like the king of squonking atomizers. And it's really the king of dripping. Well, not the king, but it has a very, very cool deck design for dripping and squonking. With squonking, that whole juice well is tilted. So when you squonk and it comes out way down there, it just runs down a hill basically to your wicks. But then the same thing right here. So when you're dripping, it just all runs down towards the wicks. You don't have any kind of pooling going on with this. Really dig this atomizer. But these right here, although I think I finally found some O-rings that don't really cause me a lot of trouble, but this atomizer has shredded more O-rings than any other atomizer I have ever owned. It's just the top cap. I swear you could only use one O-ring, and I actually did on this one for a while. It was enough to keep it nice and tight, but it's like when you're putting it down on here, if you don't have it just right, if you have to kind of, you know, twist it a little bit to get it to go down, it will just shred that top O-ring, which really sucks. But these are actually O-rings from the CIO RDA. They're some of the spares, and they seem to work pretty damn well. It hasn't shredded them yet, at least. But for a long time, I had a slightly thicker O-ring on the bottom there and no second O-ring. And it held it down fine, but then eventually it shredded that other one. So yeah, I do not like how it's just the murderer of O-rings, but other than that, I love this RDA. All right. I think they're probably out far enough, but give them another single wind. There we go. Really thinking about putting some Twisted Timmy's Fralians in this, but I'm going to go with the Coilology Alien V2s. Basically because I know this is an atomizer. I will eventually sit down and like not come back to it for a while. So I would feel like I was just wasting Timmy or Jonathan's coils if I stuck them in this. Now, if I stick this thing on like the TS, I'll use the absolute hell out of it, but kind of liking both my TS setups at the moment. All right, so I cut this one at 5. And they normally just kind of sit down and they're perfect. They're a little angled, so you got to kind of like come down at an angled motion whenever you're setting them in there. Noisy cricket. That's one I do not have and have never owned, is a noisy cricket. That one not backed out enough? There it goes. This one is pretty simple to build up overall. I think that'll work. Let's see if it reads this one. Yes, it does. Where didn't have this one clamped down quite fully. Well, may not have this leg fully. There it goes. Yeah, I don't think it had that leg clamped real well. So one coil was heating up more than the other. I'm gonna get them to glow equally. There we go. All right, I think that finally did it. All right. Anybody see Lost Bullet 2 yet? Have not. Don't really need very long wicks with these because you don't really have super deep juice well. Mostly because this was definitely designed for squonking more so than dripping. Pretty much about like that. Save those ends. Little under for Mike Vapes. Don't tell me about 1899 Mowgli. I haven't watched it yet. No spoilers, bro. I may have too much wick here. A little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. So aside from not catching that leg and just a ton of, as Graham would say, dangle clacks this stream, that doesn't look too bad. All right, for this one, I'm going to use my white chocolate overdose custard. I think this thing has actually fallen down to the point now it doesn't want to act right. Because I just noticed after doing all that, like it would read it and fire anytime you hit the fire button, but something's definitely going on with that particular Gower 21, because it would go from reading it to 9.99, where it just thinks there's nothing on there. Huh. And this is reading it as relatively high. So, don't like that. Check its 510 pin real quick. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and swap back up top here, because I kind of want to be able to play with this a little bit up close because it's acting funky. Yeah, that's what it was. Went back down to 0.1. So 510 pin was not completely tightened down. And so now the Hadron's reading it just fine. But and the top of this Gower 21 is just absolutely red hot. Batteries aren't hot, but the top of this is just absolutely insanely hot. So might be the end of this particular Gower 21. I'll have to kind of crack it open and see. Let's go ahead, put this white chocolate overdose custard on the squaw here. But now it's reading the coils at 0.1 on the Hadron Plus, so which is about where it should be. So that's all good, but I think that particular Gower 21 is about over for. Has about kicked the bucket. It sucks. I've had that for, well, since it came out. That one was a pre-order, and I have dropped it several times, but it's been an absolute tank. I do have like 4 other ones, or 3. Yeah, 3 other ones. So definitely have backups for it, but kind of sucks that it finally kicked the bucket. Just another thing about regulated mods that I hate is that no matter what it is, DNA, whatever, eventually they kind of kick the bucket. Later, Apathy. All right. Seems to be doing good. Stick this top cap back on here. And those O-rings still seem to be working good. So hopefully maybe I actually found some that will work well for this for the long term. Crank this wattage up some while I wait forever for it to go fucking 0.1 at a time. Ugh. All right, here we go. That's really good. Flavor off this thing is spectacular. And the pull off of it, once you get it down, it's kind of a pain in the ass to play with the airflow on this just because of how it is. If you're not familiar with the squaw, you got all this jacked up craziness going on. And then as you turn it, it kind of cuts it down in different ways. So let me take the actual airflow out. As you can see, there's one where it's just wide open. There's just top airflow open. There's practically nothing. There's bottom airflow open. Top and bottom again. So when you're cutting it down on this, it's kind of hard to see. And because it kind of has that stage where there's nothing there, you can actually partially cut down the top and like a weird section of the bottom. So it's kind of awkward to get adjusted to, but once you find where you actually like it, it is really good. But now it's going to take me ages to get back to where I had it. I normally like the top cut down about 60-70% of the way. And part of the bottom cut down. There it is. So yeah, it looks like actually the top's cut down about 25% and everything on the bottom except for the last two holes is cut down. Works really good. It works excellent with this white chocolate overdose custard because just the flavor off of it is a lot better than a lot of other RDAs with that particular liquid. A lot of times you just kind of get the almost cocoa butter type of flavor in white chocolate. Extremely heavy with some RDAs, but this one actually kind of breaks it all down. You get a lot more of the creaminess to it, a lot more of the custard actually comes through. Yeah, I love the pull off of it, love the flavor off of it. Greg Stevens and 99 Wraps did an amazing job on this. Yeah, Paul, I mean, I've dropped and spilled shit all over that one at some point or another. But it seems like that 510 down there is kind of sunk down some, so probably would be the perfect setup for that New Hampshire pumpkin roll. Well, that's two cut down right there. Sorry, I'm fucking with the airflow again. Which happens with me in this RDA. Kind of one of the reasons why eventually I like set it aside and I'm like, whatever, I'll come back to that. Because I just keep playing with the airflow and it's kind of hard to see, at least with this matte black one. There we go. White chocolate sounds so good. Need to pick up some white chocolate to try it. Only white chocolate I currently have is mullenberry. The only ones I really like are, I like the Flavor West Flavora white chocolate combo. And then I really like Wonder Flavors white chocolate milky cream. It is excellent to use in like custards and bakeries, things like that. Anything you need kind of a creamy white chocolate for. And it pairs with the Flavor West Flavora white chocolate combo real nice. That's what's in the white chocolate overdose custard is Flavor West, Flavora, and Wonder Flavors white chocolate. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead, crank this up to about 110, 115, somewhere in there. Make sure it's not going to short out on us. I still hate the way this thing goes up in 0.1 increments. And then even if you hold it down, it still doesn't go super fast. Yeah, that's really good. All right. Stick this on the Dreamer. One of many Dreamers that I own. Go ahead, stick a 30T up in here. All right. Oh yeah, that's really good. I really love this RDA. I wish I didn't feel so inclined to play with the airflow all the damn time. $9.5 switch to vaping. Still got an old speck of tobacco in my drip tip. I can't say I've had that happen, and I smoked a lot, but I don't know. I've got some older jackets. I guarantee if I wore them and stuck my mod in my pocket, especially my inside pocket, they'd probably get tobacco all over. Yeah, if you don't own the squad, but you do the rye and you like the rye, the squad to me is kind of a step up from the rye. Like the rye, I remember I wasn't real interested in the rye when it came out, but then I kind of heard the story about his buddy Ryan and why it's named the rye and all that. And I ended up buying one just on that alone. I was like, well, shit, now I have to buy one because fuck, named his RDA after his buddy. And then it kind of sat forever, and then finally I went to it, and it was actually really good. So when the Squaw came out, especially being very squonk centric, I jumped all over it. Yeah, that's really good. Oh, speaking of white chocolate, I did a recipe on all the flavors called Sorteal's Holiday Custard. I basically was thinking about doing a holiday custard of some type and was thinking, what are the flavors that remind me of the holiday season? When I think of holiday season, I basically think like end of October to New Year's. So like pumpkin spice being one that's around near Halloween and throughout November. That was one. White chocolate reminds me of the holiday season. I only get kind of a hankering for white chocolate during the holiday season. Seems to be a lot of kind of white chocolate candies, and then of course white chocolate peppermint's a big thing during the holiday season. Uh, and then also caramel is just, I don't know, it's something I eat more during the holiday season than I do any other time of year. So I ended up making a custard that mixes caramel, a little bit of Flavora pumpkin spice, which really a little bit's all you need because that shit is potent as hell. And then some of that Wonder Flavors white chocolate milky cream. But now that white chocolate in there is very slight. So it doesn't taste like a white chocolate custard per se, but you kind of get a little bit of that kind of cocoa butter note in there, and it mixes with the caramel that's in it, which is Wonder Flavors caramel butter, really well. I was actually pretty shocked by that recipe. It turned out really nice, I thought. Beer made a couple of good white chocolate peppermint recipes in 2017. I'm pretty sure I've vaped at least one of those. All right, yeah, that is damn good. Leave that over there for now. I will probably eventually stick that on one of the Defiant Designs TS because it just works so good as a squonker, almost to the point it feels like you're wasting the RDA if you use it as a dripper. That good as a squonk. We're just gonna go ahead and skip the Gower 21 completely on this next one. That caramel butter, yeah, Wonder Flavors caramel butter is damn amazing. It's easily my favorite caramel out there. It's one of the few that actually tastes somewhat creamy. I gotta hydrate again. Oh, this is the other flavor that reminds me of the holiday season, which is cranberry. This is cranberry juice. Coming up on 5 years smoke free in March. Hell yeah, congratulations, Chasing Clouds. I think I'll hit that mark 5 or 6 years coming up in 2023. I think it's the white chocolate peppermint ice cream that I tried. All right, here is the deck. This right here, the Ripsaw. Now somebody's been asking, actually a couple of people have been asking me to do this on the live build, even though I built it up on the actual review for it, but I don't know, they wanted to see it in live build format, so here we go. I really dig this one. Being a top airflow RDA normally is a terrible idea, an absolutely horrible idea. There's only one I can think of other than this that really pulled it off well. I mean, the Geek Vape Z pulled the airflow portion of it off pretty well. There's also one by, I think it's the Scarlet RDA from Alter Ego Creations. It's a full-blown top airflow RDA, and it actually has some pretty damn good flavor. It could have been better for sure, but it actually did pull it off. But this one pulls it off fully, completely, and has great flavor, especially for a larger atomizer. This is a 28mm atomizer. So if you're not sure what's going on with it, down in there you'll see almost like a plug. It kind of protrudes up. So once you put this down, that plug actually seals to that hole right there. So when the airflow is coming down, it has nowhere to go except kind of up these ramps and then up the middle, because that's the only place airflow is escaping because of that seal right there. So you end up getting some top and a little bit of undercoil inside airflow to your coils depending on where you place them. But it actually works. I was extremely shocked. All right, so for this one, like I said, we're going to do the El Cuatro in a 90 from Coil Clout. Again, these are 4-core aliens. See if we can get a good look at these. There we go. These are some beautiful coils. All right. Trying to remember where I cut these to last time. I think it was like a 5.5. Got into vaping by accident, but glad I did. Same here. I was definitely an accidental quitter. I won't say I got into vaping by accident, but I quit smoking cigarettes thanks to vaping by accident. I got into vaping because I was just interested in it. And when it first kind of hit the scene back in 2008 is, I know they always say 2007, but 2008 was the first time I ever heard or saw anything about vaping. These may have been too short. I might have to stick these in another. Nah, they're good. But anyway, yeah, 2008 was the first time I ever heard anything about vaping. And the first vape kit or vape period that I ever owned was the Blue Premium kit, their very first Cigalike, like I think it was their very first vape product ever, and it was before they got bought out by whichever big tobacco company owns them now. But it vaped like shit. The liquid that came with it tasted like shit. Never interested in it. I was already kind of a bit of a techie person, so I think like just the technical aspect of it piqued my interest. And then I was kind of big into like smokers' rights at the time. Well, pretty much for a long time while I was a smoker. And they had things, a lot of other places did it way sooner than Kentucky did, but Kentucky finally started to ban smoking indoors. I mean, they did that long before 2008, but there's a big push to ban it in bars, and then bars were starting to kind of fight back against it some, and then they shut that down. So the idea of having something that was similar to a cigarette that I could do inside, and at that time, 2008, nobody cared because nobody knew anything about them. They just knew they didn't stink, and they were fine with that. If it didn't stink, they were fine with it. So that kind of got me into it initially, but it sucked so bad it was never gonna replace cigarettes. It was just interesting, and I just kept following it and following it. And then the first time I ever used like a mechanical mod and a rebuildable was probably the first time I thought this might actually make me quit smoking cigarettes, or it could. But then somewhere in like 2015 to 2017, I kind of got out of it entirely. Just went back to smoking. I didn't think about vaping or the vape industry or anything like that. And then when I came back to it late 2017, early 2018, it was kind of when mesh really was starting to pop off big time. And I wanted to try mesh in a rebuildable format. And of course, all the initial offerings sucked ass big time. They all were terrible. But I still kept trying. I did get, pulled out a few old RDAs, built them up, did some round wire builds, started looking at coil builds, things like that, because I'd never tried some of the more complex coil builds that kind of came out later. But mesh was the big reason why I wanted to get back into it, because I had vape mesh in a sub-ohm tank and was like, what the fuck? And I knew I wanted to try it in a rebuildable format. It looks pretty good. So with this, when you're clamping these down, it looks like you could just not clamp your legs and just send them all the way through, but really it's easier to pre-cut your legs, and then you're just kind of shoving them in there and your screws clamping down on them. But because of the way this is all sort of designed with the screw exposed on the outside and it just being kind of concave, it's just easier to press your coil up against it and get it level and then screw those top screws down. I don't honestly think it runs all the way through the deck. I think you have to pre-clip these. Nice, Steve-O. Yeah, the blue premium kit definitely got me interested in vaping and kept me always keeping track of where the vape industry was. I will give blue that. I don't think I would have. I don't know. I'd have gotten as excited no matter what Sig-alike I got back in those days. Just the overall technology would have interested me enough to keep track of everything. Man, these things had like no hotspots. They just perfecto. That's one thing I've noticed about Jonathan's coils, especially if they're like some of the limited edition stuff that he does. They don't really have too many hotspots at all. They're pretty damn perfect right off the bat. All right, grab some cotton here. Now for this one, I'm going to use my Twinkie recipe because I finally got it completely done. And I have to personally say, I don't normally say like, oh, this liquid I did is the best ever. I'm not one of those people. But this Twinkie recipe is the best Twinkie recipe I've ever tried. And I've tried a lot of them. This one tastes more like an actual Twinkie than any other Twinkie recipe I've ever tried. All right, to wick this, pretty self-explanatory. You're just kind of keeping them a little long, but nothing too crazy. Well, not even a little long. I won't say that. But I guess they need to be a little longer than I originally assumed. I'll save my story for a video, but I truly thought vaping was big tobacco trying to hook people on something new. You didn't know the hobbyist side. You really thought that? Wow. But I mean, I could see that for sure. I don't guess I ever thought of it that way. I never really looked at nicotine as the enemy, I don't guess. So the hooked part of it was not the part that bothered me in the slightest. It was the health part of it that was the oh shit factor for me. Now with this one, I'm not going to like rake these out big time like I normally do with this Emoza cotton, but I am going to strum through it a little bit. Just because if it's a little too thin, it starts to, I don't know, it doesn't wick quite right. I think maybe where those coils are just so high up from the base there. Kind of reminds me of an older like 2-post type of system, like a purge kind of deck, where your wicks needed to be a little bit longer just to hold some excess juice. Now, whoever it was that was asking me to build this up, I don't know if they were, I don't think they said anything about having issues with it, just I think they were just curious about seeing it built up. Sorry, I'm pulling it away just to kind of clean it up a little bit because building a wicking on camera turned out to be a lot more difficult than I assumed it would be. A little bit easier almost to just build and watch everything going on in the camera than it is to actually look at it because it's so far away. I did grab Twinkie, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, I don't know why Bearded Viking chose to do top airflow, unless he was just like, oh, I think I need a fucking challenge. Let's figure out top airflow. Yeah, let's do that. Everyone bitches about top airflow RDAs sucking. Let's just solve that right here. Ugh, this 0.1 increment climbing sucks. Got to get into E-Scrub with this. Oh, okay. I got you there, Jason Cloud. How old were you then? I have no idea how old you are right now. But how old were you in, say, 2007, 2008-ish? Well, that was more me. I didn't really realize I had fully quit until I was like, wait, I haven't bought a pack of cigarettes in how long now? All right, there we go. Sealed down nice. Put some down in here. Let's swap back over. Definitely got to crank this wattage up as I wait for it to go up 0.1 at a fucking time. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, that's hella good. One thing about these El Quattro, they like to spit at first if you're not careful. This drip tip's not gonna want to turn the airflow. Sure isn't. See if I can find a drip tip that will fit down in this thing and will also turn the airflow. Kind of one of the shitty things with this is only so many drip tips will really work right for it. There we go. That one will turn it. All right. So you got to turn the drip tip to cut the airflow down. Just as you turn the drip tip, cuts the airflow down, and then you can move it. So like if you cut it down like that, your coil is right where this is, right in the center of that, buzzsaw face right there. And you can just kind of turn the top till it centers up with the image, and now your airflow is centered on your coil again, which is cool. But the shitty thing is the vast majority of drip tips out there are going to do two things. They're going to do what this is doing right here, and they're going to raise up off of it. Or they're not going to be, they won't raise up like that, but they won't be tight enough to actually turn the airflow. So you got to kind of, I don't know, pick and choose your annoyance. Even the one that comes with it likes to kind of accidentally sit up some. You can kind of clean some of the liquid that gets up in here out of here, and then put it back down, and it'll kind of stay down. I want to say this. Nope. I'll just go back to the one I had because I know it'll close down that airflow. I'm going to have the first two holes cut off and then center the three holes that are left. All right, here we go. A little too restrictive. And now it doesn't want to turn that shit at all. Come on now. This drip tip in particular is going to really fucking annoy me. And I don't know where the OG one is. I think this is the OG one. All right. So I'm going to do it with just one hole cut off and then the remaining 4 holes centered up with the coil. Cutting 2 of them down and leaving only 3 open, even when they're recentered on there, is a little bit too restricted. I've used deep fried sponge cake from Real Flavors a few times. I actually recently ordered more from DIY. Was it DIY E-Juice there up in Canada? That and cookies and cream, because I thought I was going to try the deep fried sponge cake for this Twinkie recipe. But then kind of the combo of one-on-one golden sponge cake and Philadelphia butter cake at low percentages worked out way better than I imagined it really would. But I still like deep fried sponge cake. Are her recipes, Mowgli, are they ones you gotta turn up? Her recipes are kind of like Ren's to me. I always have to crank the percentages up a little bit. But all of Jarvis's recipes are, well, not all, but a lot of them are really, really good. I just have to crank the percentages up some. All right, this is working great. Especially now that I got the drip tip that'll work right with it. Joshua, what's up, brother? You're late to the stream that started late, but hey, it's all good. I'm just happy anybody shows up, if I'm honest. All right, I'm going to stick this on the 1111 Reborn because it vapes so well on this mechanical mod. And this mech and the stack section to it are going to Ashton at Palmer's Powders here after the new year. Along with 3 RDA top caps at least, but I'll send the whole RDAs, I'm sure. Because the last time when I sent the Dreamer, I didn't send the switch because I thought I was trying to help him out. So he just wouldn't have to take the switch apart. He could just whatever, but he wanted to paint the switch itself, the button, the fire button. Luckily, he actually had one on hand that he painted up and sent it back with the Dreamer. Oh, yeah. Whoop. Excuse me there, microphone. This Ripsaw right here and the 1111 Reborn combo is fucking awesome. They pair so well together. This combo hits extremely hard. And even more so now with these El Quattros in it. These came out to 0.09 at the end there. Not me. You like them or you don't. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know. I always have to kind of turn them up a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely Crackle City. But those El Quattros always are. Is the Recurve V2 better than the Nitrous, Nightmare, and Asgard? Absolutely not. No way in hell. I like the Recurve too, but no. I would pick any of those three over it any day of the week. Especially the Nitrous or the Asgard, if you're talking about the Asgard Mini at least. Used to powder coat bicycle racks that you lock a bike into. But yeah, I'm sorry I do not read, what is that? Is that Korean? I have no idea what your handle is, I'm sorry, but yeah, the Recurve V2 is a damn good RDA for sure. Here, we'll whip it back out. It is nowhere near the Crackle City that those El Quattro coils are, but still really good. This is a damn good RDA. We had a bunch of fucking problems with it, but it ended up actually being the Gower 21 was the problem more than anything. Oh, thank you, Mowgli. But yeah, I really dig this, but it's not as good as the Asgard Mini, the Nightmare 25, or the Nitrous. And yeah, definitely not as good as the Nitrous or the Asgard Mini. Those are two of the best RDAs probably out there of all time, in my personal opinion. And I like the original Recurve Dual better than the Recurve V2. And yeah, Josh, with the Asgard Mini is a flavor monster. All right, so yeah, this right here is going to go to Ashton over at Palmer's Powders to get painted an orange. I have the stack section to it. I'm thinking about doing it all orange except for as it gets close, like a gradient as it gets closer to the button, and doing black. But I haven't totally decided what I want to do other than orange. But I did the Dreamer kind of all orange. I'd like to do something slightly different with this, especially considering I have the stack section. And the stack section goes in the middle instead of being, you know, a part that attaches to the bottom. It actually goes in the very center. So it kind of, if I want to do something like a gradient, it can't be kind of a gradient that gradually goes up the bottom of this and then starts to go orange, because then it would look weird with the stack section. Oh, not that one. Let the mix liquids on this one. But yeah, as far as the top airflow RDA, this is probably the best top airflow RDA I've ever come across. But while it's a top airflow RDA, yeah, something like that, Mowgli, would be great. But I want it to kind of just be towards the bottom here, I think, and then get orange all the way up. That way the stack section will just be a solid orange. Moist. Haven't used my Asgard Mini in a minute, but it is purple and sexy. Nice. I saw that Vapors Cloud has the Asgard 30 millimeter in the satin orange back in stock, and I really want to pull the trigger on that one. This is vaping outstanding. Now I made this up. This actually has not steeped anywhere near long enough. That Twinkie recipe, because it has Flavor West's creamy sponge cake and BSO's vanilla cream at a slightly higher percentage, they don't really kind of fully come to life until about 5 to 7 days. Vanilla cream comes to life after a couple of days, like fully. But creamy sponge cake needs about a week to really get to its peak performance. But it's still damn good. Very happy with the Twinkie recipe and very dehydrated at the moment. Thinking of getting the 30 millimeter for series builds. It's really good for that. Purple and black is fucking punk rock. Really is. I really like magenta and black. That's very punk rock too. Kind of like the first time I ever like watched Bogan and found out like his whole color combo is kind of a pink and black or a magenta and black. I was like, fuck yeah. But yeah, I think this would be pretty cool. Also, I've got an Asgard Mini that I'm going to send off to him to get painted in orange. I have a black RDA for Vaping V2 that I'm going to send off to get painted in orange, and the AFC rings to get painted in orange. And then I kind of swap them around at that point. I'll end up with some orange AFC rings I can use on other RDA V2s. Faded plum crazy purple. Mopar with matte black accents wins all the beans. My 80s kid. I dig day glow pink and black. Hell yeah. I really wouldn't. I'm kind of curious to see. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Russian custom mods. Like, they're kind of slowly selling out all their stock, right? And the only thing they have left now is the Twist and the Infinity Stone one. Wouldn't mind having one of those Infinity Stone ones. They only have it left in matte black. That, you know, you'll never be able to get it after they sell out of all of them. But I'm interested to see what the next thing is, because they kind of, you know, are hinting that once we sell out all these, we're working on other designs and we're going to, you know, kind of show some new designs. So I'm interested to see what the next line will be, how the switch changes, because even the Infinity Switch changed as they went along. The final or current version of that Infinity Switch I really like, but I'm anxious to see if they go with something that's a little more set, because I don't know how familiar any of you are with. This is the switch here. Let me just swap fucking camera. Switch for most of the newer Infinity line from Russian Custom Mods. This is off the Bushido, and it just falls out, and there you go. That's your switch, basically. So it just has the button housing, and when you're pressing it, it's just pushing down to make contact with this kind of dome shape. And then you can take this off, and there's another ring in there that you can kind of tighten or loosen, and it controls the throw. I'll move this, see if I can get this off of here. So this little ring on the outside controls the throw. So if you tighten it or loosen it, if you loosen it, it shortens the throw. If you tighten it, it makes it a little bit longer. I had it pretty much about a midway point. It was still pretty short for most mechanical mods, but for this, it was about midway. Because you can make this to where it's such a short throw, you just barely touch it. Actually, that's shorter than I did have it. Let's see. I made it so short one time on accident that it immediately fired as soon as I got it in there. Just auto fired. Nah, it's probably about halfway like it was before. But yeah, you can make this extremely short. Really dig that switch, even though it's kind of weird to get used to because it likes to just fall out of there when you take the switch off if you're not careful. You're overusing big series coils. I like big series coils, at least some of them, especially Timmy's series aliens and his series frame staples. Both those are really good series coils. But I can see if you've got the option to use the series deck, I would probably go with the series deck option most of the time. Probably just on the heat factor alone. So yeah, this one was pretty easy. Out of all these that I built up tonight, this one was the easiest one to build. The squad was pretty easy. It just had the whole thing of the Gower 21's issue going on. And then the 510 was a little bit loose where I'd kind of messed with it earlier. But after all that, it built up just fine. It's a simple RDA to build. Yeah, it depends on the RDA. Yeah, Nightmare 28 fits his series coils pretty damn well. So does the Asgard 30. Remember how we were talking about large bottles of juice? Beautiful folk art is one I would make 480 ml bottle of for sure. Yeah. You saying you need me to check that one out? That another one needs to be mixed up because I've never tried that one, so I may have to do that one up on the live mixing as well, which is fine. I need more recipes to do up. Still need to do that. I got all the flavors for your New Hampshire pumpkin roll. They all finally came in. I was only missing the Flavor West buttercream and one other one. I can't remember what it was. Oh, nice. Did you do it up when developed, kind of folded? I still don't know what that story was. If they just got sick of doing it or butted heads or what that was. Or just life. It was when Renee Zellweger was still smoking hot. All right, so I guess that Gower 21 is retired. So in future reviews, I guess we're going to go back to the Hadron or I'll bust out another Gower 21. I have to kind of mess with this and see what's going on. Kind of loose in there. If I could get some really small needle nose pliers down in there, I could probably mess with it a little bit better. But I would probably just take it all the way apart and see what in the hell's going on. But the Hadron will work. Plus, I need to do a video going over eScribe, so that'll give me a chance to go ahead and set that up a little better through eScribe and test out the Linux beta for eScribe. The last time I used it, it was still in alpha, and it was pretty buggy. But I've been wanting to do a video going over kind of the basics of eScribe because I haven't seen many out there, honestly. I know there's a few that are actually pretty good, but for the most part, there's not a lot of videos going over eScribe. Figured I'd do one up and get that a little better set up for my taste. could use an e-scribe video. I think a lot of people could. And I mean, for me, it's probably going to be a lot of trial and error because it's been a while since I've used e-scribe. The last time I used e-scribe was with the Odin that I've got, and it was using the Linux alpha version of eScribe, and like I said, it was just buggy as all hell. But I gotta change it out to where it doesn't go 0.1 at a time. Like, I don't mind that if it's like 20 watts or below, if it'll go 0.1 at a time. At 20 watts or below, I am always cool with that. I think that's great. But once you get above 20 watts, it should go 0.5 at a time. And then really, I think once you hit like 70 watts, 75 watts, somewhere around there, it should just go 1 watt increments at a time. If you could set it up to do those 3 different kind of incremental scales, I think it would be perfect. Like going 0.1 at a time when you're trying to go from 50 watts to 110, just a pain in the ass. I don't know if I think I've seen Vanishing Point, but Beautiful Folk Art is a remix of Folk Art's Psycho V2 recipe. Oh, nice. Yeah, I definitely want to try that then. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it. I don't really have anything else to build. I mean, we could. I guess I could dig something out. I actually have a couple of things that I want to do some type of giveaway on or something similar, but I'm going to talk about that on YouTube. I'll have something up on Instagram pretty soon because I just have several things that either were sent to me or well, I mean, they were all stuff that was either sent to me or it was sent as like an apology type of thing from a company, and I just have never opened them. So, and I don't think I'm going to, or I already have another one of them. So I have kind of a lot of doubles that are all still in the package. So might figure out something along the lines of getting those to worthy hands. But that'll be something that kind of pops up either over on Odyssey or on Instagram. So let you guys know about that. Hello from the Northeast. What's up, Bambino? The Stuntman? No, I've never seen it. But yeah, I don't think I've got anything else I'm going to build up. So I'm going to go ahead and call it, guys. Thanks everybody very much for coming out, hanging out, watching me futz and fumble around with these things until I finally figured out what in the hell was wrong with them or the regulated box mod. A lot of fun. Love chit-chatting with you guys. The mixing will be moving completely to Tuesday. So live mixing will be Tuesday, 1 p.m. And it runs way less of a chance of work fucking it up if it's on Tuesday. So I think that's definitely going to be its new home. Then, of course, the live build session will be Wednesday, 10 p.m. So I won't have this starting at 11 p.m. thing. And got another review coming up for a .mods product that's going to be out this week. Also a show and tell for the Nitrous Limited Edition kit. And then we'll just have to see what else. There'll be more Hitchhiker's Guide to the Vaporverse. But yeah, I very much appreciate you guys coming out. Vape on, and I will catch you all in the next one.